working on the lead up to the meet cute with Diego, and in that scene there's a character that I'm introducing that is going to be pivotal into the interconnected series, as far as Lisette's story, which Lisette's story is Lisette is Diego's sister, but she is going to have her own story much further down the road. Right now I'm working on the trilogy with Diego and Vanessa. Vanessa is his love interest, if you're new here. So the character that I introduced last night, he is he's going to have a pivotal role in the first book of Lisette's story, and there's going to be kind of like a chain reaction with regards to his story. So I realized when I was doing my outline and kind of looking at the scenes that I needed, that in order to really tie in his story with the series that's going to be down the line once I finish Vanessa and Diego's story, that I needed to kind of like start dripping and putting him in and sprinkling him in throughout this trilogy right now. So I have been working on that. My hope is to really finish that scene today. I said the other day about 900 words. My target is 1,500, so 600 is a minimum. If I go a little bit over, that's fine. And then I want to then flesh out Diego's reaction to the meet cute, because I did it, but I did it it wasn't as in-depth as it needs to be. So I want to fix that up before I move on to the other scenes. Vanessa's lead up and her meet cute scenes are fine. After that, it'll be working on their reactions. I also know that I'm going to probably need to do like some filler scenes in between that. So if I have enough time or enough bandwidth really to do that today, then I'll kind of jot down some ideas of how I want that to go. So that's pretty much what's going on today. We went to the chiropractor yesterday. I'm feeling a lot better. I had mentioned that. But it's looking like I'm probably going to have to find another chiropractor, because they charged us an additional $18 on top of our copay. And I know like $18 doesn't sound like a lot of money, but I have a copay. And not only do I have a copay, but our insurance, I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate. I have really great insurance. My insurance covers everything 100%. So I don't know where this $18 additional charge is coming from. So I called the insurance company yesterday, and they told me to have the chiropractor office reach out to them today, because they shouldn't have charged us the additional $18. Like, never in my life have I ever had to pay anything above whatever the copay was. So that didn't make any sense to me. So I think my husband and I decided, it's not the chiropractor, because he does, he's a really nice person and he's definitely making us feel better. But obviously there's an issue in the billing office, that they're just not doing something right. While we were there yesterday, we overheard the receptionist and another lady just kind of, talking about like they had to reimburse somebody $170 to their account. So I'm thinking it's just something with their billing, that they're doing something wrong. And I don't have the time to be aggravated like that over something like ridiculous. So we're just going to, I'm going to do some research. I'm going to look around to see who else we can use within the local area, so that we can continue on with our treatments. Looking like the scene that I started on with Diego and the new character that I introduced, that scene right now is at 1557, and I could go up to like 2,000 words in this scene, but I know that I'm gonna have to go beyond that. So this scene I'm gonna have to break up into two. And the reason why is because I'm introducing that new character, so I'm giving them some backstory, because like I said, he's gonna be kind of an important role throughout the trilogy and even into the next series, which is Lisette's story in this interconnected world. So a lot of it was just really, really backstory, who they are, what their relationship is to one another, and all of that. It could be a situation when it comes down to editing that scene would get cut down, but I rather make sure that I'm writing enough now than not writing enough, because I'm like so confined to, in my mind, just having this 1500. So it'll probably be, I'm thinking maybe in total 2500 to 3000. And if I can do that, then I can definitely break that scene up to two different scenes, like the beginning and the end of the scene. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So yeah. Another thing that I like to do is, as soon as I sit down at the keyboard, I like to just read over what I wrote the night before, just so that I can kind of get into that frame of mind of what I was thinking as I was writing the scene, what the tone is, what the feel is, all of that. And then that way it helps me to pick up where I kind of left off as far as, just the mood of the story. So I'm gonna read really quickly, probably the last few paragraphs, and then we will get started. So I finished a scene that I was working on with Diego and introducing that new character, and I added to that scene, the total word count for that scene is 2,418, and I ended up adding an additional 861 words to that scene. So that scene is pretty much done. I know that when I do revisions, I'm gonna have to cut down that word count or split it. Try to split it in a natural way. But I like the way the scene came out. I like the way that I ended it. A lot of it in the beginning was chunky as far as like backstory, and I think that that's where, when it comes to the revisions, where I'm gonna be doing a lot of like cutting and refining. But the second half of it, was necessary as far as moving the story along in the plot point. And while I was writing, I got the only text message from one of my old colleagues that one of my former clients, that I was working with before I retired, is doing really well. And I'm super happy and super proud because, that individual really, he has come a long way. So it's nice to know that, so far with God's blessing, this person is continuing to do well, and hopefully they continue to do well. I know before I retired, they had started turning, the corner of their life and making better decisions, and things were really going well for them. And sometimes, despite how well they may do, something will come up that will take them off track. They'll revert back to old patterns of behaviors, but so far so good. So yeah, so you know what? That alone for today, that was a win. Good morning. It's Sunday, January 12th. I hope you guys are having an amazing start to your day so far. Sorry about the overhead light. I know that there's a glare. But I just wanted to check in. The last I checked in with you guys was Friday. And I wanted to vlog yesterday a little bit. My husband and I, we had like a little baby, and we went to the movies. And I wanted to kind of capture all of that. Just something different as far as content. But your girl was struggling. My neck is still bothering me. It's very tight. I woke up okay yesterday. And from what I'm kind of noticing, like a pattern as the day progresses, I get progressively worse. And last night when we got back from the movies, I was just miserable. My neck felt very stiff. It was hard to do anything. Looking down hurts. Having it up hurts. It's feeling like it's just like I have a pinch, which is what I have. So that's what's going on. My Sundays usually are all about kind of prepping for the week. So I wanted to kind of share what my process is for that. Right now I'm getting some sweet potatoes ready to go in the oven for my husband. He's got a couple doubles this week, so I want to make sure that dinner for him is all prepped. I like to sit and plan my week, see what my week is gonna be like, and as far as like writing, like what my writing goals are, I definitely fell short of my writing goal for the week, but that's okay because you know, it is what it is. As long as I try to do something every day that's moving the needle forward. So I have to have that mindset until I kind of get over this little hump of my neck bothering me. But yeah, so I'm waiting for the oven to tell me that it's ready so I can put these sweet potatoes in the oven, and then I'm gonna start doing some planning. Cafecito, and it's pilon. So the sweet potatoes are finished. I just took them out the oven, and I am just finishing up breakfast. My husband should be home in a few, but I realized that I didn't tell you the movie that we went to see yesterday. It's called The Fire Inside. It's the story of Clarissa Shields. She is a professional female boxer, and I had seen the documentary on her probably maybe like 8 years ago. Highly recommend the movie if you're into, well, even if you're not into like sports. I just think that the movie and her documentary was just really well written. Basically, she was a fighter from Flint, Michigan, and if you're not from the United States, Flint is pretty much known to be a very impoverished inner city in the state of Michigan. And she grew up, in a very low socioeconomic situation. And she, like most kids in that type of environment, was able to take a lot of her deficits and turn it into something good. And she became a boxer. Like, boxing was her way to manage her frustrations, deal with the trauma that she sustained, and just kind of escape without, using, the negative means of escape that most adolescents at that age tend to gravitate to, which is usually drugs or gang involvement or any of those things. And she was the youngest female boxer to ever win an Olympic gold back in, it was the 2012 London Olympics. And then she also won another Olympic gold 4 years later, again, the youngest, and the only female boxer and the only American to win back-to-back gold medals. Now, the travesty of her story, in part, is that, and I remember this from the documentary that I saw, and what made me want to watch the movie was because she didn't fit the bill of what an athlete was considered, or she didn't toe the line of, trying to appeal to the masses. All of the endorsement deals were never, like, she never got not one endorsement deal. And usually, if you win an Olympic gold medal, like, people are knocking on your door offering you sponsorships and all of that stuff. And because of who she was, where she grew up, because she was kind of rough around the edges, she didn't fit the particular mold, and she refused to, sell her, she refused to, like, play the game or change. She refused to change who she was in order to get those sponsorships and get those deals. It was like nothing. So it was a really, really, like, I remember watching the documentary, and it was on Netflix. I doubt it's on Netflix now, but I was just like, damn, like, they played her because she was an inner city girl who, who was just rough around the edges from the streets, and they didn't like that, and they didn't want that. But she was able to kind of turn it around. And in the movie, you see how she took that, negative situation after reaching such a high and hoping, putting everything, all her hopes, all her dreams on winning that Olympic medal, and then, the sponsorships that come with that, and then having just nothing happen, like the same old, like she could have just given up, but she continued to fight in a different way. So I truly, truly recommend, if you want to see just kind of like a feel good, movie about someone who has every book thrown at them to fail, like, if for everything for them to fail in their life, every situation, like, they were born already for them to fail in life, and what it takes to persevere and overcome, I think, is a lesson for everybody, whether you're a boxing fan or not a boxing fan. Like, everyone has a story of a personal struggle and having to overcome that struggle in order to make your dreams happen. Like, what is it going to take for you to do it? What is the discipline? What is the dedication? Even though, no one believes in your dream, like, you have to believe in your dream above and beyond anybody else's idea or belief of what they think your dream should be. So yeah, The Fire Inside, I definitely recommend that. If you haven't seen that movie, like, go see it. If it, once it comes out, stream it, watch it. Like, you won't be disappointed. The other thing that I liked about that movie is that it really just reminded me of my kids, the kids that I worked with, as a probation officer in the inner city, and just seeing so many Clarissas over the years. Like, I think I stopped count. Well, I didn't stop counting. The last I knew, I was 3 years into the job. So I retired 20 years. So I was in the job 20 years. And 3 years in, I served 1,000 kids. I was a probation officer for 1,000 kids in 3 years. So what is that math? Almost like 300, a little bit over 300 adolescents a year. And that was 3 years in. So if we continued at that trajectory, if we continued at an average of 300 for another 17 years, what is that math? So yeah, the math is like 5,000. 5,000 plus another 1,000, so 6,000 kids in 20 years. That's crazy. But watch the movie. Afternoon. I am just doing a quick check-in. Last I checked in with you guys was yesterday. I woke up this morning feeling a whole lot better. My husband, oh my God, he gave me a massage yesterday. He massaged my neck, he massaged like around my shoulder blades, and that just, I think that just made a world of difference. So I woke up feeling really good this morning, so good that I like cleaned the house. And not only that, but I got to writing, and I was able to write 924 words this morning. Before he got home, he has a double today, so he came home in between his shifts. So I'm feeling really good. Right now I'm in the process of having the video that you guys are gonna watch later on tonight. It's in the process of being rendered, so I'm just waiting for that to finish so that I can get back into the writing. I have a little bit over 600 more words to write to reach my, my word count goal for the day. And yeah, I'm just feeling such relief that I'm feeling better. My neck started getting a little sore just from doing some, what was I doing? I don't remember. My neck started feeling a little bit sore like after we ate, and I knew like I definitely needed a break. So I've just been kind of just taking it easy. Once I started getting the whole video situated to start, rendering so I could upload it. I've been doing some reading. My niece has been wanting me to read Fourth Wing, and she for probably a month and a half, she was like, you gotta read Fourth Wing. Have you read it? You gotta read it. You gotta read it. You gotta read it. So right before Christmas, I read Fourth Wing. Finished that book. I loved it. I know there was a whole bunch of controversy with it. People didn't like it, but I enjoyed it. And of course, I had to read Iron Flame, which is what I'm reading now. So that's what I did after, trying to rest, just do a little bit of reading. What are you guys reading? Have you guys read Iron Flame and Fourth Wing? Let me know. Let me know what you guys are reading, what you've enjoyed so far. If you did read it, did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know. So that's the check-in for today. That's the check-in for now. I have another, I think, 20 minutes before this is done. And then I'm gonna jump back on Scrivener and bang out these words. And yeah, so far so good for a Monday. Gaston's Tavern. So we'll see what Gaston's Tavern is like. We have That's a lot. It'll be great with some cafecito. And they do sell cafecito. I'm gonna give it a 9. Maybe an 8.5. Only because it's like later in the day. But I think if it was like fresh out the oven, definitely a 10.
It's definitely sure.
Definitely. It's sweet, but not too sweet. You get that hint of cinnamon. It was warm too, like that bite. Like it's warm in the inside.
That's the name of it. It's called warm cinnamon bagel or something like that.
Muffin, cinnamon,
Muffin.
roll muffin. Anyway, the stands.